Okay, guys, I'm back. I had to break up the video. Remember last time when you don't break up the video, it's too long to upload. So I had wanted to show you another trick. Now, if I wanted to find the square root, because you see how that's the square root of 25, square root of 25, in my calculator, I could just go 25 and take the square root, hit enter, and it'll tell me it's 5. Or 121, take the square root, and it'll tell me it's 11, okay? Or I could do 81, take the square root, and they'll tell me it's 9, okay? But what if I want the cube root? That square root button doesn't tell me cube root, does it? But do you see this button right here? The same button we was using a minute ago, but look above it, the green thing. To get to that button, you have to hit second and then this button, okay? The second is all the green keys, but you still use the button that is above, but it's the green keys, okay? So for example, we did the cube root of 64 is 4, right? The cube root of 64 is 4. So let's go to our calculator. Let's type in 64 second this, and we want the cube root. And guess what it tells us? It's 4. Let's do that again. Let's look at the cube root of 8, and we know it's 2. So we go back to our calculator, okay? We're going to hit clear. We're going to go back to our calculator, okay? We want the cube root of 8. So we're going to hit 8. Then we're going to do second this one and tell it what root we want. We want the cube root for 3, and then we're going to hit enter. And look at that. It is 2. Well, we want the cube root of 216. So we're going to go back to our calculator, and we're going to say 216. I'm going to hit clear. We're going to say 216. We want the cube root, so we're going to hit 3, and then we're going to hit enter. And the cube root of 216, like we already have, is 6. Then guess what we want now? We want the fourth root of 81. The fourth root of 81. So we're going to go to our calculator, hit clear. We're going to go 81. We're going to go second, and we're going to hit this button. We want the fourth root, and we're going to hit enter. The fourth root of 81 is 3, guys. The fourth root of 81 is 3. So much easier. Otherwise, you would have had to go 3, multiply 3 how many times? 4 times. So up here, we multiplied 3 times, it got 27. So if we take 27 and multiply 3, which is 4 times, 27 times 3, 7 times 3 is 21. Put my 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. 81. Same thing. So the fourth root of 81 is 3. Let's try another one. You know I love different examples so that we can see it. 625, and we're going to take the fourth root, the 1/4 root of 625. Okay, well that's going to equal the fourth root of 625. I'm sorry. This is called 625 to the 1/4 power. This is the fourth root of 625. And in my calculator, I'm going to hit my clear button. I'm going to hit 625 second, that little key. And then since I want the fourth root, I'm going to hit the 4 and an equal sign, and I find that it is 5. Is equal to 5. Okay? Now, one more example. Let me think of one. Let's say 14,641 to the 4th power. Okay? Holding this phone and trying to record and teach all at the same time is very challenging, guys. So that means we're going to take the fourth root of 14,641. Okay? The fourth root of 14,641. Well, let's see what that equals. Well, we darn sure want a calculator for that, don't we? Okay, let's go 14,641. Hit the clear button. We're going to go 14,641. And we want the fourth root. So we're going to hit second, hit this key, and number 4 for fourth root, and then the equal sign. And it's 11. That works out wonderfully. And so we find that answer is 11, okay? That answer is 11. So we have practiced the 1/2 root, the 1/4 root, 1/3 root. Well, we have practiced square root, cube root, and fourth root. So we noticed that anything to the 1/2 power is the same thing as square root. Anything to the 1/3 power is the same thing as cube root. And anything to the 1/4 power is the same thing as the fourth root, okay? So let's try to simplify some expressions. How about that? Let's do that. Let's turn this paper over and let's simplify some expressions. Let's make this real. Okay, we're going to simplify the expression. Let's do 64 to the 1/3 power, 64 to the 1/3 power. And let's simplify that, okay? Well, that's going to equal the cube root of 64, okay? Now, you could do it the long way by asking yourself, well, what number multiplied 3 times will give me 64? Well, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. Nah. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. Nah. 4 times 4 is 16, times 4 is 64. Wow, that really does work. So that would equal 4. Or you could do what Miss Stewart does. Take her trusty little calculator that she brought from Walmart for $10 that everybody needs, and she would do this. She would go 64 second cube root, and then tell it I want cube, hit enter, and guess what it gives me? A 4. Okay? Let's do another one. Let's make it more interesting. That one was too easy. Okay, that was way too easy. So let's go 32. Sorry about the bells, guys. I'm sitting in the classroom, and you guys are on the field right now at the parade. 81, so it gave me time to make you this video. So let's look at this expression. So we have 32 to the 1/5 power minus 81 to the 1/2 power. Well, let's switch these around. Let's make this the 5th root of 32 minus the square root of 81. Okay? If we convert this to this and this to this, leaving the sign the same, okay? So that means we need to find a number, multiply 5 times, that's going to give me 32. And you know Miss Stewart, trusty calculator, we're going to put our 32 in, and since we want a number multiplied 5 times, we're going to say 5 and hit enter or equal, and it tells us that number is 2. So that means 32, the 5th root of 32 is simply 2. Simply 2, okay? And then put our minus sign. And we know that the square root of 81 is 9, but just in case you didn't know, you could go 81 square, and the calculator will tell you it's 9. Well, what is 2 minus 9? a negative 7. And in case you didn't know that, 2 minus 9 equals a negative 7. And that's our answer, negative 7. Okay, guys? So, do you think we're finished? You know me too well. We are definitely not finished. We have more practice to do. So let's go to another practice problem. You know Miss Stewart likes to practice. Why? Because practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. So let's do this problem. 16 to the 1/4 power. And let's do that. Okay? So we look 16 to the 1/4 power. What can we do? I don't hear you. That is the 4th root of 16. So we're looking for the number. Multiply 4 times. That will give us 16. So we're just going to go to our calculator. And we're going to say 16 second this. And we needed to multiply 4 times equal. And that number is 2. So that means this equals 2. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's try another one. So we got 125 to the 1/3 root. To the 1/3 power. That's going to equal the cube root of 125. All right. So that means we need a number multiplied 3 times to give us 125. Trusty calculator. So we're looking for 125, and we need a number multiplied 3 times that's going to give us 125. So we're going to put a 3 here, hit equal, and that number is what? 5. So this equals 5. And this is adequate work, guys, to show me. This is adequate work to show me. Okay? Let's do something more interesting. Let's see. Let me think. Let's try 49 to the 1/2 power plus 27 to the 1/3 power. Okay? Well, how else can I write that? I can write that as the square root of 49. Because remember, whenever there's no number here, it is understood to be a 2. Plus, now we need this to be a 3, so the cube root of 27. Well, we know that the square root of 49 is 7, plus we looking for a number, multiply 3 times, that'll give us 27. Well, that's 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 3 is 27. And then 7 plus 3 is 10. So the answer to our initial problem is 10. Wonderful. Let's try again. Let's say we have 1,000 to the 1/3 power minus 64 to the 1/6 power. Okay? Let's try that one. Well, you could rewrite that as the cube power of 1,000 minus the 6 the cube root of 1,000, the 6th root of 64. So the cube root of 1,000 is 10, because 10 times 10 is 100 times 10 is 1,000. Okay? The 6th root of 64 is 2, because if I multiply 2 6 times, I get 64. Okay? So 10 minus 2 is simply 8. So the answer is 8. And I could have checked all that on here. I could have said, well, calculator, what's the cube root of 1,000? And it'll tell me 10. And I could have said, calculator, what's the 6th root of 64? And it would have told me 2. Okay? And 10 minus 2, I hope you don't need it, but I could have said that too. Clear? Calculator, what's 10 minus 2? and that's 8. Okay, 10 minus 2 is 8. So I hope you guys are picking this up. Let's do some more practice. The practice is going to get a little more interesting, okay? A little more interesting, and that's because you need to now utilize some properties, okay? You need to utilize some properties. So let's go to a new video, guys, because it's going to get hard for me to upload this, and I'll upload them in order, okay? How about that? So we're going to go to a new video. See you in the gym.